Hey everyone, this is Friedel Hakureja Raven. I'm here with my recap and review of Digimon Adventures, the anime, episode number 64, and there's only 2 more episodes left, and this series will come to an end. Now, I thought that we were going to get a reboot of Digimon Adventure 0.2, but no, apparently we're getting a new Digimon series, basically called Ghost Digimon or Ghost Stories or something. I'm not really sure what the name is because I'm not really that interested. Maybe we'll get a reboot of Adventure 0.2 later on, who knows. But anyway, back to the episode. It's titled Angel's Determination. So of course this episode is going to focus on the Holy Angels, and we finally got our mega evolutions for Seraphimon and Ophanimon, and I have been waiting so long for these evolutions to come out. I mean, when it comes to Seraphimon, you know that Takiro is basically the last one to get any kind of evolution, so I was patient, but I was also kind of running out of my patience because again there are only 2 more episodes left. So this episode number 64, it opens up with Algomon talking to this weird black sphere with red dots on it, which is basically like a data sphere. And yeah, we have Algomon over here with this very well-defined behind for some reason, and he's basically waiting for this data sphere to transform into something. And then he ends up sending a whole bunch of Sound Birdramon to attack that data tree. So while that's happening, we get to see Takiro and Patamon share a dream, and in this dream they end up talking to Devi Injamon, and his name was Devi Injamon, right? Yeah, Devimon, my bad, Devimon. Yeah, they're talking to Devimon, and yeah, I have been waiting for Devimon to return again because you know that Devimon and Injamon are like connected. So yeah, it was nice to see Devimon back, and Devimon basically warns Takiro and Patamon that they can't stop the Great Catastrophe, and yeah, the Great Catastrophe is basically, it's not something that sides with darkness. Basically, it's going to eat up everything, it's going to destroy everything, it's going to destroy light, it's going to destroy the darkness, it's going to destroy despair, everything. Basically everything is going to cease existing, and Takiro and Patamon are like, you know what, Devimon, we will stop the Great Catastrophe. And Devimon is like, you know what, I would like to see you guys try. So these two wake up, and they are headed back to the tree of data, the data tree. Again, I don't remember what that data tree is called. Maybe it's called the Great Tree or the Data Tree, who knows. So as they're on the way, they meet up with Hikari and Tailmon, who are also on this railroad. So this is where Patamon tells Tailmon about the dream that he and Takiro shared, and Tailmon is trying to decipher what the dream means, and she's like, you know what, Devimon was busy studying evolution. He wanted to continue gaining power, but as he started gaining power, he ended up getting corrupted, and there was something evil behind Devimon. And then she also talks about how the information that Devimon collected, all of that energy was used to revive Millenniumon. Basically, Tailmon is getting at that everything that has happened up to this point, it has all been part of some weird master dark plan. We don't necessarily know who's controlling everything, but everything is basically connected to the upcoming Great Catastrophe, and we have to be ready. So we get to see that the data tree is being attacked by a whole bunch of Sound Birdramon. Takiro and Hikari are the first ones to arrive, while the rest of the team are on their way. So we get to see this. I wanted to talk about this scene where Wisemon is getting attacked, and the way that Wisemon is standing, I'm like, Wisemon, girl, work. So yeah, even though they do try to put up a fight, there are a whole lot of other Digimon involved. They become evil because they get corrupted by the sound waves from the Sound Birdramon. So these two can't fight that entire team of possessed Digimon. But anyway, Takiro arrives with Pegasumon, and they're like, you know what, we are going to stay here and we are going to protect you guys while the rest of the team arrives. And this is also where Searchmon ends up emitting these radio waves in order to stop Digimon from getting possessed by the Sound Birdramon. So that's a very good idea. So Wisemon is like, you know what, we have things handled over here. Takiro and Hikari, we know where the Sound Birdramon are headed. They're headed to destroy the crests. So you guys go ahead, we can handle things here. And Takiro and Hikari like, okay, we'll go. So as they're making their way towards the crest, you can see that the Sound Birdramon are compiling this scrap data together in order to make these weird giant robotic Digimon things in order to attack everyone. But as Takiro is fighting, Taichi appears, and the rest of the team also appears. So yeah, everyone is here while Taichi, Takiro, and Hikari are inside the tree. And as they're making, and Wisemon is there as well. And as they're making their way towards the crests are glowing. The children's digivices are glowing. Yeah, basically the crests are resonating with the digivices, and Wisemon is like, you know what? I want the rest of the kids to come to the tree as well. Everyone come in. There's something happening with the crests. So before the other kids can come in, this is where we get to see Soundbirdramon acting strange, and they end up forming this giant Digimon. And yeah, we have been seeing the silhouette of this giant Digimon for a very, very long time. There have been a whole lot of rumors about who this Digimon is possibly going to be, and in episode number 64, we finally get our answer. This, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone, this is Detmon. Now, Detmon was the Digimon that the good Digimon ended up fighting during the first Ancient War, and he's back. And basically, he's someone who's all about controlling the darkness and leading the dark Digimon, and he's here to attack the tree. So Detmon ends up grabbing the tree, and he lasers through it in order to destroy the crests. And I was like, wait, does that mean that the crests are destroyed? But no, it turns out. Wait, do I have the still there? I guess I do. But anyway, maybe I have, or maybe if I forgot, I'll talk about it. But yeah, anyway, while Detmon is attacking the tree, we get this scene where a whole lot of Soundbirdramon, they have basically covered the entire Digiworld, and they are like emitting sound waves and making everyone scared, making everyone lose their hope. We get to see all of the previous Digimon that the Digidestins met and helped, and we also get to see Leomon. And Leomon is like, you know what? I refuse to believe that this is the end of the world. We all believe in the Digidestin, so this can't be the end of the world. The Digidestin have to fight, and they will save us. So all of the hope ends up working, and yeah, I did get the still. I thought I forgot it. But yeah, it turns out that the laser that Detmon shot at the crests, Wargreymon, Angel Woman, and Mega Angemon are able to block the laser, basically, in the sense that even though the laser went through the tree, the crests are safe. Now, this is where Takiro and Hikari are like, you know what? The rest of the Digimon are our friends. They believe in us. They want us to protect them, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And this is where Takiro and Hikari end up getting their Mega Evolutions. And before that happens, again, as I said, we get all these flashbacks about how the Digidestin ended up helping everyone. And basically, the mission of the Crests was them being sent on different missions in order to connect with the Digimon and help them learn, help them gain back a sense of hope. And yeah, basically, I guess the writers are trying to say that even if certain viewers thought that a particular episode or two was filler, it all played a role in the larger narrative. So we get our Mega Evolutions. We get Seraphimon all armored up, and then we also get Ophanimon, who's of course showing her abdomen for some reason, because yeah, that's how armor works. You armor your entire body, and then you actually show your opponents this weak spot where they can attack you, which yeah, it makes no sense, but it is what it is. So Seraphimon and Ophanimon are ready to fight Detmon, and Detmon ends up shooting his eye laser again at Seraphimon. Before he does that, he ends up shooting these hand lasers at Seraphimon and Ophanimon, but that doesn't do any damage to them, because again, these two are powered up by all of the hope from the entire Digiworld. So again, talking about the laser, Detmon shoots the laser at Seraphimon. Seraphimon uses his Seven Heavens attack, and yeah, those golden orbs break through the eye laser and they hit Detmon. And this is where Ophanimon is like, you know what, I'm going in. And as she's charging at Detmon shoots two laser beams again at Ophanimon, but Ophanimon, using her weapon, her lance, I guess, or her spear, I think it's a lance, she just charges right through Detmon, and it's a very, very cool scene where she just straight up kills him. So Ophanimon and Seraphimon were able to kill Detmon, but as he's being destroyed, all of his data is like dispersing. This is where Detmon is like, you know what, I was the first call, and I was the first call of the Great Catastrophe. There's something bigger and badder coming right up. And yeah, he's basically like, you know what, your kids haven't won yet. And then we get to see the black sphere that Algamon was looking at. It ends up gaining a whole of the data, and then it starts to crack, and yeah, the data egg has hatched. So the kids are impressed by Seraphimon and Phanimon, but they're also worried about what's going to happen next. Joe is like, wait, so that's it? Does that mean that we're safe? But before they can talk about it further, the crests end up glowing, and there's this weird scene where it looks like they are in some other plane, and the crests end up flying up into the sky, and then the crests just disappear. And the kids are like, wait, what happened to the crests? They were here a second ago, and now they've poofed, they're gone. And it turns out that with the crests gone, even the crests in the Digivices, it's not showing. So yeah, this is trouble. The kids are in trouble. And then the kids notice that, wait, there's something outside. They look outside, and yeah, there's a breach in the realm, and we get to see this opening to a white void. And apparently the white void, inside the white void, there's nothing. There's no light, there's no darkness, it's just emptiness. And inside the white void, we get to see the silhouette of a Digimon that apparently, I guess, hatched from the Black Sphere egg. And yeah, again, there has been a whole lot of theories about who this Digimon is. And Algamon ends up naming it, calling it, not naming it. Algamon calls it Negamon. And yeah, I won't get into leaks, but there are also these leaks showing what Negamon's final evolution is going to look like. It's like a weird ship aircraft thingy. Looks like a whale. It's just weird. You can Google it to find it easily. So yeah, I guess. Taichi and Yamato have to step forward to save the world, because in the previous episode number 63, we got to see Taichi learn about how, in order to destroy the Great Catastrophe or defeat the Great Catastrophe, they need Omnimon, and how Seraphimon and Phanimon are going to be the ones who are going to trigger the Omnimon sequence, which of course Taichi and Yamato have done before. And yeah, of course, again, 2 more episodes left. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next in the 2 episodes. Yeah, I'm just excited. I'm ready to see Omnimon fight the Great Catastrophe, which is basically Negamon. So I'm not really sure if you're going to get a new version of Omnimon fighting Negamon, or it's going to be the old version we have already seen. Maybe the Omnimon now that we'll get now will have some sort of upgrades. Who knows? But yeah, that was the episode. Again, as a fan of Takero and Patamon, I was very excited to see them unlock Seraphimon, and I also appreciated the writers giving Seraphimon and Phanimon a time, the moment to shine. And those two were the only ones who ended up taking out Devimon without anyone helping. But with the 2 more episodes left, I guess now it's up to Omnimon. I really hope that the writers figure out something to allow the rest of the Digidestined to do as well, because I don't want those Digidestined to just be benched and just stand there while seeing Omnimon fight. But you know what? Let's see. Yeah, feel free to leave your comments down below. And until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed. See you guys later.